Welcome back to the Bilal Vakani Hour right here on Sirius XM 167 Canada Talks. Joined now by my good friend Jay Stoyan. You know him, you love him. He's the founder of the Disability Channel, but that's not all he does. And I'm very excited, Jay, to tell us about one of the other projects you've been working on that is very near and dear to your heart and should be to all our hearts.
Well, thank you, Bilal. I really appreciate the time. I'm sorry I'm in transit, so I'm a little bit, but anyways, very important interview today. We're really excited because we've been doing some great outreach to the United States when it comes to veteran platforms, and I cannot say enough about the next gentleman who's going to come on. His name is Paul Lawrence, and I know he's quite the hefty guy. So, Paul, thank you for coming on the show today, and please tell our viewers your title, and then we'll get into exactly what you do when it's helping your fellow veterans.
Sure. We've connected on veterans issues because in the last administration, I was the Undersecretary for Benefits. So I'm the former Undersecretary of Benefits. And these are something American veterans earn when they serve in the military: education, assistance with purchasing a home, and a wide range of issues. So that's what Jay and I sort of spoke about, is how those benefits can be used to really help people accelerate their reintegration back into civilian life.
Well, that is so important, Paul. Like such a vital piece of the puzzle to veterans, because as I'm dealing with veterans here in Canada and across the US, I'm finding out more and more, what's good, what needs to be improved, and how much they deserve it. Like these are our heroes. So let's talk a little bit about maybe what you do, and then we'll bring Bilal in. So give us like an overview of how you would directly help a veteran, Paul.
Sure. Well, so in the US, so for example, if you serve honorably, there's a whole range of benefits that really can help them. Okay. One is you can purchase a home with no money down, which is, in the civilian life, you have to save for years to put out a down payment. So in the US, American veterans can purchase a home with no money down. That greatly increases home ownership, which gives them an anchor into the community. If you serve honorably for 3 years, you can go to college for free. You essentially get the equivalent of a state university education. So if you've thought about improving your skills and maybe you're the first person in your family to go to college, this can really change your trajectory. And one of the biggest ones is, of course, if you've been hurt while you're in service, you get compensation to reflect expenses, maybe foregone wages if it's really changed your life. So there's a lot of benefits that help veterans, what we call accelerate their pursuit of the American dream: a home, a great job, return to civilian life ahead of their civilian counterparts.
Does this have any connection with the GI Bill, or is that even still around in the United States?
Yeah, no, that's it. The GI Bill is a broad term, but now has become the education benefit I just mentioned: college, okay, or assistance with the trades, or even certificates and credentials to help folks get specialized training.
That's great. Bilal, feel free to jump in, please.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a few questions of your own.
Well, already, Paul, you list off all those benefits, and I have to be honest, I'm in the process of trying to purchase my first home with my wife, so I'm familiar with what you just described, and I'm almost wishing I could retroactively go back and serve to save myself legitimately a decade of saving to even have something reasonable, so I can, not live in a under 600 square foot condo in Toronto. But I think what's so interesting about this is we have such reverence for those who serve, whether they be in Canada or the States. And yet, I'm sitting here and I'm completely ignorant of all the great things you do. But there's a reason you have to do them, because the mental, the physical toll, that these men and women have to go through, and then to come back from combat, from service, and have to reintegrate into society. There is this gap, I assume, that you're helping them reintegrate into society successfully.
That's right. Well, service can be difficult, right? I mean, a range of things happen. In addition to serving in combat, you can be hurt during training. A whole bunch of things happen, right? So, our Congress, the American people speak through our Congress and want people to understand these benefits are available, which is why I wrote a book about it. It's called Veterans Benefits for You. You can get it on Amazon, that explains all these benefits, because I found when I was in office, American veterans often didn't know all the benefits, Bilal, as well as then how to access them. So I really tried to make it easy so they realize all these things are there for them. And exactly right. The home ownership is a really big one.
And if I may add one other thing, Jay, because I know you're going to have some questions as well. Additionally, you're coming to us from the US. And I think that is a great place for Canadians, for countries all over the world to model their systems after, because it's such a huge economy. It's involved in so many major conflicts over the history of just humanity. I watched a movie the other night about Canada, and they joked that Canada kind of came together as just a passive accident. Just you have this land, take it, have fun. It's freezing, hang out, see what happens. Whereas with the U.S., there's so much conflict. Your people have had to go through it and to fight for their freedom in a way we haven't done to the same extent. We've helped in some wars. And I've already lost the question and how deep I've gotten. But did you see the point I'm getting at?
Sure. No, in the U.S., there are 18 million veterans. So the systems have been set up to help them with healthcare as well as the monetary benefits I've described, right? So you join a very exclusive club, we like to think, about people who, were willing to fight for our country because these are the values we hold so dear. And you're right, our history is rich in terms of why we became a country and what we stand for, how we help the world and what we do. So you're right, people join the military to be part of that, as well as same thing in Canada, protect your way of life.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, this is great, guys. Paul, thank you so much. I want to mention, not only is Paul a veteran, but now he's also a published author. How many books now do you have, Paul?
Well, I got a bunch from before, but the two that are really about veterans issues were the one I just mentioned, Veterans Benefits for You. It's about benefits. And the one I wrote after having served in government is called Transforming Service to Veterans. It was about my experience as being a political appointee and coming in and actually learning how to run big government organization to get veterans their benefits. So two different kind of subjects, but the one that people are really interested right now is a lot about the benefits. That seems to be the one people want to focus on.
And if you have it, can you hold the book up, Paul, in case you do have it in front of you there?
Sure, of course. So, yep, that's what it looks like. It's on Amazon. Just, Veterans Benefits.
How can people purchase it? Yeah, go to Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, Veterans Benefits for You. It's a bestseller in certain categories. I don't quite know the magic of the Amazon algorithm, but again, it's really designed to all the benefits in one place, easy to read, very simple to understand, help veterans kind of through the process.
Can we talk a little bit about you getting appointed? Because that is such a big tribute to you and the work you do. Can you just tell us a little bit about your experience about being appointed undersecretary?
Sure. Actually, it's really interesting. At the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the undersecretaries are actually selected by a commission. It's kind of a fancy word for an interview process. Because when the VA became a cabinet agency, they were afraid it would be too political. So they said, let's hold these interviews to sort of, see if we can get people who really want political. So my friends were working over there and they said, hey, this job is open. Why don't you apply? So I applied and I told my friends I did. And I figured they get thousands of your resumes and I never hear anything. About 6 weeks later, I got an email saying, please come over and interview. So I went over and interviewed, was prepared to what would you do? Why would you want this job? And as you point out, Jay, being a veteran, and then you have this moment, I'm guessing this is true for you and many of your listeners of, you can sit on the sideline and you can complain, or you can get off and you can go and do something. So you better, step up when the chances happen. And I thought, what better mission than to go and help veterans? So I talked about, if you do select me, this is what I'll do. I might fail, but it won't be because I didn't try. I'll try to get veterans to benefits of veterans faster. I'll try to really pay attention to what they want. And so about 6 weeks later, I got an email from the White House saying, please start filling out forms. This was a Senate confirmed position. So they announce it. And then you go to a Senate committee where they ask you lots of questions. They're not as cool as the ones you see on TV. This is a somewhat lower level position, right? And then you get voted on. And so the process of me applying started in September of 2017, and I was finally in office in late April 2018. So it took about 9 months through the process.
Jay,
and how? Oh, sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, just because I'll forget this and then go back to where you're going. Yeah. I'm wondering about AI because, in the past, a man or woman could serve, and then if they were healthy, they could serve again. But now, as war is becoming more mechanized, more automated, the need for these benefits and this reintegration, I think it's even more so. Just so I don't forget the question, Jay, and then we can go to where you're going.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more, but we're smarter about stuff. If you ever read a book about World War II, you would see that a lot of veterans came home, shell-shocked, battle-shocked, right? And they suffered and were pretty miserable. That's what we now know as PTS, post-traumatic stress, right? So we are much more smarter about what's going on and able to help these people. So that's definitely true, right? And so we really are hopefully able to reintegrate at a much higher level.
That's great. That's a great question. Wow. Yeah, like technology today is just so advanced. So it's just another responsibility on your plate again. So let me ask you this. So I'll tell our viewers exactly what we're hoping to do. So as I come on the show with Bilal, always has me on, we always talk about updates regarding veterans events. So it's all the race to the Invictus Games 225, and the Disability Channel currently has going our employment programs for veterans here in Ontario. They have been so successful that now we're in the process of reaching out and going outreach across Canada into every province. And we're just adding a new status on our platform, which is a third-party charitable status now. So with Paul's involvement, Paul has agreed to support the channel in hopefully trying to get the Pentagon or the leaders in the United States to recognize our employment programs and the benefits they have for everybody involved, from the veteran to the spouse to the city, because you teach somebody a new skill and they want to work, it can save everybody money, give everybody a purpose, some integrity. So I really thank Paul for having an open mind and being so kind. Paul, you're always there whenever I give you a call, or always pick your brain. So
Yeah, well, no, thanks for that, Jay. And very interested to learn more about the success you've had with your reintegration programs, training people for new skills. I know it's in the digital media communication area. I know American veterans would probably find that very interesting and jobs they would be interested in. So it'd be great to think about those programs being one day available to U.S. veterans and covered by many of the things like you point out, the GI Bill or similar benefits that could pay for that. So it would be great to be able to figure that out together.
that's great. Bilal, I'll pass it back to you. I know our time is
Yeah.
already almost up. So, but if you have a last question for him or anything like that, and
I
then
should just
Paul.
say it is amazing how smoothly we're doing this, given we're in 3 different locations and Jay's in the car for who watches this. I'm quite impressed by all of that. I've only got about 50 seconds, so I really just want to throw it back to Paul and then Jay, where people can get more information and get more involved. Just a great pleasure to talk to you both, and I will stop talking at this point.
So
Paul, why
sure.
don't you go ahead first? Yeah.
Yeah. So to get more information about benefits, again, I'll reference my book, Veterans Benefits for You, Paul R. Lawrence, my full name, on Amazon. You can get it there. It makes a great gift, especially as we come to Veterans Day. And often what people don't realize is veterans think, I'm good, I don't need benefits. But don't forget, American benefits often cover family if something happened to you. So think more about your family, not just yourself.
That's great, Paul. And if people want to find out more information or enroll in our free employment programs for veterans in media in Ontario and soon across Canada, you can go to www.thedisabilitychannel.ca, or you can call me personally at 647-339-6847. So Paul and Bilal, I really thank you for being on the show today. Bilal, really thank you for supporting the channel. Always wonderful tour yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, I was just going to say your graduates, your staff, yourself, some of the best questions, some of which I legally couldn't answer because of confidentiality with SiriusXM. But even in those cases, the theses they presented were very well thought out, and it almost makes me think they did have confidential data, which I could not disclose. So thank you for that. A great pleasure to talk to you both, and just very grateful I can dedicate even a small amount of airtime to this. I don't think media does this enough. So if I can do my little part, very grateful to do so. And thank you both again for your time today.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.